We will soon arrive at Garreg Monastery. Forcing a surrender here is extremely significant, both strategically and symbolically. Of course, this is personal as well. This is where we all came together to learn and grow. I have no intention of yielding to our former classmates, so I ask that you prepare yourselves for anything.
I'm not thinking about friends right now, and I'm certainly not prepared.
Damn it, don't go around saying things that lower morale before we even get started. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's fight.
I have nothing to lose aside from my friends who are here with me. Does that answer satisfy you? I have been ready for this since leaving my land of home. I will fight and win. How can you prepare to fight? Maybe I can prepare to prepare.
There is no reason that I should not be prepared. It is my duty to stand up and battle.
Thank you all. Now, let's talk strategy.
As the raiding force, we will attack the area nearest to the monastery. The Knights of Seiros certainly won't stand down after they catch sight of Her Majesty and the Professor. At the same time, the remaining areas will be surrounded and annihilated by the main army. In other words, we are the decoy that must suppress the enemy's most elite soldiers.
We know more about the area near the monastery than anyone else in the Imperial Army. Still, we must prepare for the worst. It's possible we will have to face the Archbishop's true form, the Immaculate One. Fight with all you have, but don't be reckless. As promised, I will leave the command to our professor.
Not only will we all survive this, but we will undoubtedly emerge victorious.
This will be our first battle as the Black Eagle Strike Force. All the more reason to prevail.
Friends, our opportunity for victory will come. But first, we must see to our defenses.
The city's defenders are trying to stall for time. We must crush them swiftly. We should be wary of ambushes as well.
Ladislava is being pushed on the left flank. We must push back with equal force.
I'm on it.
That's my cue.
I'll go. Stay focused.
I will prevail.
I will get the victory.
I'll give it my all.
Battle as you wish.
Who, me?
That is that.
I will prevail! Well, How was that?
Just like that.
Now! Hidden soldiers, attack! Traitor! I will not forgive you for turning on Rhea! I cannot yield!
Zenith, please! Do not overextend yourself. I am still in this fight.
I'm sorry, Flame. Withdraw if you must.
Now you know your limits.
You worked hard for nothing.
My heart is full of victory.
I'd rather be napping.
Just what we need. I knew Her Majesty's allies would help us out.
You're weak. Unfortunately, you must die here. You should never have defied the goddess.
You shall not pass! I will protect Garreg Mach!
In my master's name, I cannot allow myself to fall here. I must withdraw.
be stopping.
The fight continues.
Careful, please.
Professor, why? Do you not see the cruelty of this? Must protect Garreg Mach. I must protect everyone.
We will lend the Empire strength.
Don't worry, we're allies now. I understand you must have many questions, but they'll have to wait until after the battle.
Seteth, Flame, Gilbert. You put your lives on the line to protect us. I would have preferred to have more time to prepare, but we cannot delay any longer. Come forth. Protect Garreg Mach Monastery from those despicable rebels.
I'll crush them all.
Her enemies are my enemies.
I'm on it. Can't get ahead of myself. Take over for me?
I shouldn't strain myself.
Too easy. I gotta kill you!
It's over. Each battle, a chance to grow.
Your defeat was inevitable.
Lady Rhea, I couldn't fight hard enough. I'm sorry.
Cyril, your sacrifice will not be in vain.
I am Thunder Catherine, and I will slay all of Lady Rhea's enemies, including you!
That's my cue. I won't go down so easily.
How dare you betray me? You worthless piece of garbage! I will punish you myself!
Let this be a lesson.
I will not allow Garreg Mach or my mother to fall!
You will not be forgiven! Professor, look out!
castle is crumbling! We must escape! Professor, take cover!
Professor!
In Imperial Year 1181, the new Adrestian Emperor, Edelgard von Hresvelg, led a strategic assault against the monastery at Garreg Mach. Though her own losses were great, her foes had no choice but to surrender. Archbishop Rhea commanded the Knights of Seiros, leading from the front lines against the Imperial army. After a hard-fought battle, she was forced to retreat to Ferdiad, the capital of Fargus, where she must now plan her next move. With this single attack, the Adrestian Empire officially launched its offensive against the Holy Kingdom of Fargus and the Leicester Alliance. The unification of Fodlan has begun. Part 2. Crimson Flower. Ethereal Moon. Beyond Escape. It is Imperial Year 1185. Half a decade has passed since Emperor Edelgard ascended the Imperial throne, yet the continent of Fodlan still remains lost in a tempest of turmoil and bloodshed. In the Holy Kingdom of Fargus, King Dimitri has welcomed Archbishop Rhea and her knights, who were driven out of Garreg Mach to the kingdom capital. As they work to build a unified front, the war with the Empire rages on to the west. Meanwhile, Claude, leader of the Alliance, staves off Imperial intervention by strategically stirring up conflicts between Leicester lords in an effort to feign neutrality. As events unfold, Edelgard and her Black Eagle strike force begin to take action in an attempt to break the war's current state of deadlock.
You. How long do you intend to sleep? Your body is awake. Your eyes must open now, and you must find the strength to stand upon those legs of yours. Like so much rain, a pool of blood has fallen to the ground. As spears and arrows pierce the earth, it weeps. And even now, it weeps. In order to survive, they kill. And so the people of this world are lost in an abyss of suffering. They weep as well. The only one who truly knows the nature of such things is I. Or rather, you.
You are a complete and utter fool! Have you not changed one bit?
Get on your feet. Right now! I'll coddle you no more! You are just like a child, always needing me to hold your hand.
Hey, are you awake? We're in a village at the base of the monastery. What are you doing in a place like this? I honestly didn't expect to find someone floating away down the river.
Garreg Mach is upstream of here, but that place was abandoned.
Huh? You don't know? The Church of Seiros isn't there anymore. Though, there have been some folks still living there in the 5 years since... well, you know. Regardless, the Imperial Army has taken over now. Are you feeling alright? You didn't hit your head or anything, did you? It's the ethereal moon of the year 1185. It's been nearly 5 years since the monastery fell. Tomorrow was supposed to be the Millennium Festival, but who's got time to think about things like that? Yeah, that's what I said. But with the war and the Archbishop still missing and all, I doubt there's a soul to be found who has enough blessings worth counting. Hey, slow down, will ya? Where do you think you're going? Are you crazy? The Imperial Army is there. Come on, I promise I won't say you're a coward. Just forget about going anywhere near the monastery. You just remember I tried to stop you. Got it? It's not on my conscience if you wind up dead. Students? You really are crazy, aren't you? There aren't any kids anywhere near that place anymore. Unbelievable.
"5 years ago to the day. If things had continued on as they were, today would have been the Millennium Festival."
Halt! Who's there?
It can't be. Professor? Is it really you? But I searched everywhere and never found a trace. My teacher. What have you been doing all this time? Where have you been? Joking? At a time like this? You do realize it's been 5 years since you disappeared. Do you have any idea how guilty I felt? How broken my heart was? I searched high and low after you vanished. Although there was no proof, I somehow knew you were alive. All this time, I led everyone as best I could, and fought with all my heart. It's been a difficult path to walk alone. Welcome back, my teacher. I'm so happy that you're safe. 5 years. Such a short time, but it feels like an eternity ago. Do you still feel the way you did all those years ago? You said then that you would fight at my side no matter how many enemies we should amass. As for me, my resolve has not faltered. I'm determined as ever to see this through to the end. I will defeat the false goddess. I will save this world from those creatures and give humanity its freedom back. So, my teacher, are you prepared to stand with me? I thank you. Truly. Now then, I assume you understand the situation at hand, yes? Another joke? Or are you telling the truth? I suppose you must be. In that case, I'll tell you all that has transpired as you slumbered these past 5 years. And that is where we are now. The war is at a stalemate. Dimitri is the new king of Fargus. It's clear that his territory will continue to support the church. Meanwhile, Claude's leadership has thrown the Alliance into chaos. He maintains neutrality in their internal conflict. The situation has created a deadlock. We've been awaiting an opportunity for our squadron to return to the monastery. With you in the fray, I believe the state of the war will shift immediately. The church, as well as the kingdom and the Alliance. The time has come to eliminate them all. Although we were of different houses, we were companions who lived and learned together. Some of our ranks are hesitant to battle against them, and against the people of their homelands. However, knowing that you're alive is sure to raise their spirits. Good. Well then, I believe it's time for a little reunion. The Black Eagle Strike Force never lost faith. They knew you were alive and have been awaiting your return. Let's not keep them waiting any longer.
Well now, that face is certainly familiar. I am glad to see you alive and well, Professor.
Professor! It's me, Bernie! Do you remember me? I can't believe you're here!
I can't believe it! Is this a dream? Can we really be this lucky?
This is not dreaming. Our professor is with us again. Welcome to the back. I mean, welcome back.
Our group isn't the same without you. I am overjoyed to see you again.
It's been so long. Seeing you again fills my heart with hope.
Great, now everything will be easy. That's great you're safe, Professor. I'm deeply, deeply moved.
Quite the reunion, isn't it, Professor? Everyone's happy to see you.
Come on, Edelgard. You must be happier than all of us combined. She took it really hard when you disappeared, Professor.
Of course, we did our very best in your absence. And there was never a day that we doubted you would return to us.
Edelgard has been leading us as Emperor. But after you disappeared, it became apparent that you were her anchor. It gives me regret to be admitting this, but our power is not enough. The only one who can be meeting Edelgard's expectations is you, Professor.
Most impressive of all is your uncanny ability to bring a smile to everyone's face.
In the years since you vanished, we have not lost anyone from our ranks.
We all longed for your presence and your leadership, myself included.
It seems fitting to view this as a new beginning for the Black Eagle Strike Force. We already have our target.
Yes, we must eliminate the Alliance before moving on to fight the Kingdom and the Church. However, that doesn't necessarily mean we must occupy the entirety of the Alliance. House Riken stands against the Empire. Therefore, our target is Deirdre, the aquatic capital.
We must cross the Aramid River, which separates the Empire and the Alliance. To do that, we must take the largest bridge across it. The Great Bridge of Myrden. Myrden connects the monastery and the Imperial capital to the east. It is the shortest route there.
An Alliance stronghold has been built at the Great Bridge. We'll take that and then head north. At the same time, we must defeat the one who defends it, Judith von Daphne. If we can also take control of Daphnel territory, it would be greatly beneficial to us. Prepare yourselves. The next battle will be a momentous one. Join me, my friends, as we begin our journey to bring peace and solace to this war-ravaged world. Yes? Oh, it's you, Professor. I was certain it was Hubert coming to drag me back to my duties. Your Majesty, you must know your supreme talents are needed at present. Why not gaze at these documents instead of the sky? Doesn't it? And the worst part is that he's always right, so I can't even argue with him. But that's enough about Hubert for the moment. While I have your attention, I'd like to thank you for your help in that last battle. As you well know, I'm perfectly capable of commanding the army by myself. However, when you're around, it's somehow different. I'm not sure I can properly explain it. I suppose your perspective on the battlefield is simply sharper than mine. When you're devising tactics and tricks for us, it's almost as though you can read the enemy's mind. There's no getting around it. Your talent for strategy far exceeds my own. I'm quite jealous, in all honesty. Is that a fact? Well, if you insist. I suppose a flower from another's field is always more beautiful. I'll admit, I think of you as rather detached, so to hear that you have emotions such as jealousy is something of a relief. I can't deny it. Ever since I underwent those procedures, I've certainly distanced myself from the ordinary world. Friends. That word somehow doesn't seem adequate. Besides, we've been friends for a long time, you and I. By now, we're so much more than that, at least in my mind. You know, instead of Edelgard, You can call me just Elle, if you so please. That's what my parents and closest sisters used to call me when I was little. Now there's no one left who calls me Elle. But with you, well, I think I could allow it. In fact, it would mean a great deal to me. Why? Well, you have stood beside me and shared my burdens. As I said, you are much more than a friend. In truth, you are like family to me. I suppose that's why.
Nice place, isn't it, Professor? Standing here, you can almost feel the goddess's absence. Discounting what dwells within you, of course. Do you think some punishment would rain down from the sky if this monastery were to be destroyed? Of course not. Even if the so-called Immaculate One came back here for revenge, that would only be a result of this war, not the work of a deity. If it is between love and hate, then I would choose the latter. The goddess failed to properly govern this world. That is why it is necessary for Lady Edelgard to become the supreme leader of Fodlan. Those with power must use it wisely. Is that not a teaching of the Church of Ceros? It's absurd to preach to others what you cannot practice yourself. Yes. It is our humanity that pushes us to step up and take the lead should the need arise. That is not the case for inhuman creatures with lifespans well beyond our own. We must fight to preserve what makes us human. You are the one closest to the enemy. I wonder if you will be able to maintain your humanity to the end. You make it sound easy. I find myself trusting you, even with my life. I've already dedicated my life to Lady Edelgard. To throw my lot in with you is inconceivable. But if I had 2 lives to give, I might devote one of them to you. Not as master and servant, but as equal partners.
Right.
And that concludes my report.
Hubert, I can't shake the feeling that you're keeping more secrets from me.
I have told you before, there are secrets even I am unwilling to share.
I remember. However, I am the Emperor now. If the Minister of the Imperial Household does not obey his orders, I have the right to execute him.
I fear you have misunderstood me, Your Majesty. It is true that I am officially your minister, but such titles are of little significance to me. I serve you purely out of personal devotion. Perhaps there was a time when I served the Imperial line due to my duty as a member of House Vestra. But since you returned from the kingdom, my loyalty has been to you alone.
I see. Then you are unwilling to obey my orders as Emperor?
Correct. If you prefer to treat this formally, then charge me with a crime. I will gladly offer up my neck to the executioner.
You know I would never do such a thing, and that I pay no heed to the title you bear. It is your own presence and capabilities that I value so highly, Hubert. Titles are meaningless next to such things. Our families have no bearing on this matter, nor does the Empire itself.
In that case, Lady Edelgard, I ask you to turn a blind eye to my secrets. They are trifles, beneath your notice. Best I handle them alone. You should focus on the path ahead of you. The Scarlet Path I have carefully prepared. Whether that path is red with blood is not something you need trouble yourself over.
As Emperor, I'm obliged to accept that answer. However, as your friend, it irritates me to no end. You speak often of painting the path I walk, yet you do so in secret. I am the one you serve, but you refuse to let me in. I trust you, Hubert, and that is precisely why I want to know everything. Your secret hopes and burdens, all of it. If I'm truly the center of your world, then I wish you would trust me as well as I trust you.
Very well. You have me beaten. I will tell you as much as I am able. From the assassins I've eliminated, to the gold I've spent on bribes, to the identity of the one I love.
Wait a moment. Are you saying you have romantic feelings for someone?
Yes. That is the one secret I had particularly hoped to keep from you.
Well, that's utter nonsense. You can't possibly keep something so fascinating from me. Who is it?
It is you, Lady Edelgard. Did you ever really doubt?
Hubert, you never cease to surprise me.
Edelgard is controlling the Empire. She is putting the pressure on the Kingdom in alliance. Empire and religion are at open war. It will be difficult for us at first. But corrupt nobles are many. That means the common people will rebel and be joining our side. With you, Professor, the battle tides will turn. I have certainty.
For 5 years, I've fought for the Empire. I've cut down hordes of enemies. Now I have the same look in my eyes that the boar used to have in his. The look of a savage beast who loves nothing but destruction and violence. I can hardly hold it against him anymore. You and Edelgard must not disappoint me. Mark my words. The future you're building had better be worth all this bloodshed.
I thought you might be at the monastery. That's why I made my way here. I decided to follow your path because I believed in you. Then you vanished. Now that you've returned, I have my guiding light once again. Welcome back, Professor.
Yeah. All right, I'm ready to fight. Let's do this. Leave it to me. I can take on the whole, most of the enemy's army. I know my limits now, Professor.
Professor? Hey, Professor. It's been a really long time, hasn't it? The last 5 years have been full of heartbreak. Not from girls, but friends and family becoming enemies. One of the things that kept me going was the hope you'd return. And now here you are. A lot has changed, but you're back. And it's the first time I can remember being happy in a while.
Indeed, House Gloucester will remain staunchly neutral in this war, even if we press into Alliance territory. My father is no threat to the Empire. Lady Edelgard surely understands that. The Great Bridge of Myrddin, however, is another story. I hear it is held by Judith of House Daphne. She is renowned for her military prowess. We would do well not to underestimate her.
Hello. The north side of the Great Bridge of Myrddin is in the territory of Acheron of the Alliance. He's known as the Weather Vane. He's a notoriously flippant man. A man like that doesn't have the guts to give it all for the defense of that bridge.
here for a few years now. There are plenty of others working here too. Since the acolytes and students aren't here, it's up to us to pick up the slack.
I have good friends in both the Alliance and Fargus, so this fighting weighs heavily on me. I can't bear the thought of battling the Knights of Seiros to the death. I have to keep my chin up though, right? Let's press on together, Professor.
I'm relieved you're here, Professor. It seems we've reached a stalemate on the war front. I admit I'm feeling apprehensive about fighting the Alliance. I agree. It's time to shelve my personal feelings and focus on the bigger picture. I'll fight with full force. I'm counting on you to lead us to victory, Professor.
Hey there.
Boo! Right. My father used to be a knight in service of the royal family of Fargus. For a time, he was at the monastery, but apparently he's back in Fargus serving as a knight again. Which means, if I fight with this army, I'll eventually have to face my own father. Terribly, but I've accepted my fate. I'm ready for anything. Of course, if at all possible, I would prefer not to fight my father. This is the path I chose. I have no regrets.
Professor! Oh my, it's so good to see you. These days, so many old friends seem to be disappearing. But you're here. It's incredible to see you again after 5 years. I have a feeling your name will go down in history.
Right.
A moment, please.
By making an enemy of the Church, disorder is running rampant among the populace. It's quieted down over these last 5 years, though. The well-being of Her Majesty is steadily improving.
Professor? Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. What's that? Do I have brothers in the church? You really are well informed. My older twin works for the Knights of Seiros, but I think he's just a grunt, not a noble gatekeeper like yours truly. Unlike me, he's very devout. He left the Empire a long time ago.
Hey! Ah! At long last, we meet again. I knew you were alive. I knew you could survive. And 5 years on, you arrive. We're reunited. I'm glad I kept watch for you in the downstream villages all that time. I was so devoted to finding you that I left the Knights of Seiros. Now I serve no one other than you. I'll protect you, just as I promised Captain Gerald I would all those years ago. Professor!
Yes. His Highness, the new king, is in the process of unifying the kingdom under his command. His powerful army has joined forces with the Knights of Seiros, who moved their seat to Fargus. And now they're presenting a united front against the Imperial army. They're our greatest enemy, absolutely. Presently, it's doubtful. That's why I'm in favor of first capturing Alliance lands. Judith, who defends the Great Bridge of Myrden, is a formidable opponent. We can't afford to drop our guard.
I need a favor.
No. Since the great nobles lost their standing, the regulation of the merchant houses has relaxed somewhat. You'd probably have thought that would make it easier for us to profit, but the world isn't so simple. The war has made the price of goods unstable, causing no end of hardship for the people.
Hey there. Ah, a new face. I am Randolph von Berglies. I'm the guardian of this place. Wait a moment. I'm sure I've seen you somewhere before. Ah, yes! You're Her Majesty's professor. You're alive? Oh, this is my little sister, Fleisch. She's just a rookie, but she's helping me as my assistant.
Hello, I'm Fleisch von Berglies. It's nice to meet you. I know I'm inexperienced, but I'm gonna do my best. You can count on me to look after my big brother.
I've heard you're planning to march into Alliance territory. I'll be here to guard the fort. Ah, I'm the guardian of this place.
Hi. There were clashes with the Kingdom Army near the Western Front. But this is the first time the Alliance Army has had an honest-to-goodness fight. I hear their leader's pretty competent. But the Alliance Army is pretty tough, too.
No.
Hey, Professor. What have you been up to for 5 years? Hope you haven't gone soft. I got myself into perfect shape. Took all 5 years of pushing my muscles to the limit. But look! You bet I do! You gotta get training if you want to catch up.
What's that look on your face? Surprised to see me? I'm a mercenary. Always have been. Even when I was with the Knights of Saros. I never was too attached to Fodlan. I was considering leaving soon. But I might change my mind if you're around.
Are we leaving for battle? I heard it's a long march. But it's fine. I've had plenty of time to stay inside lately, so I think it's time I went out. Yeah, I can do this. No more Bernie Bear. Oh, yeah. People call me Bernie Bear since I hole up in my den all the time. Not anymore, though.
Right.
The last 5 years have been difficult at times. My relationship with Edelgard is rather contentious, due to the incident with my father. Nevertheless, I cannot abandon my family's duties. As Duke Eyre, I must play my part in the Imperial Army. Edelgard intends to abolish the nobility, but I know I can dissuade her from doing so.
Within the territories of the Alliance, the Gloucester and Daphnel houses dominate the West. House Gloucester has always supported the Empire. There's not much chance of them defying us. So all that needs to be done to restore peace in the West now is to crush House Daphnel.
Hello.
Hey! I was so surprised to hear that the faith of Saros was a sham, my eyes nearly popped out of my skull. But just because the church lied to us doesn't mean that the goddess isn't real. That's my take on it anyway. I'd feel very anxious with no one to pray to.
After the battle 5 years ago, the Imperial Army occupied Garreg Mach. The cathedral and several other buildings were destroyed, but we've done some repair work here and there, and we're using the buildings as a base of operations. As for me, well, the church moved its headquarters to Fargus, and I've seen no reason to follow. When I returned to Enbar, I received a summons from Her Majesty, and I chose to answer.
Maybe.
Professor, since you came back, everyone's been smiling. Just you being here makes an incredible difference. I can't express how reassuring it is to see you.
My adoptive father sent me here so our family name would be known. He doesn't care which side wins, the Empire or the Alliance. However, even if he tells me to come home, I intend to stay. I want to see this new world Edelgard dreams of.
It's normal for history to be revised in favor of those who hold the power. The documents in this library are no exception. It's perfectly possible for someone to have made edits to them. But it's my belief that no one has the power to blot out the truth entirely. I like to read the same texts over and over again. That way, I can spot some of the truths hidden between the lines.
Professor! I'm so glad to see you're all right. I really regretted not being able to keep the promise I made to my mentor. Captain Gerald, obviously. I'm still his first and greatest apprentice, you know. I'm going to do just what he asked. I'll be right here to support you from now on. Hey, you!
Professor, do you know how happy I was to hear you were still alive? I'll tell you how happy. For the past 2 days, I haven't had my morning or my afternoon naps. Yes?
You finally joined us, have you? I attached myself to the Imperial Army as well. Seemed the thing to do. I feel I owe it to Edelgard to set my past feelings about the Empire aside. I am happy to help her. It's strange, isn't it? After 5 years, the 3 professors are together once more. I am most curious, though. You say you were asleep for 5 whole years. Incredible. Perhaps this is another effect of your crest. I do look forward to investigating you in greater detail. Wonderful news. I am most excited to begin. We must find the time, of course.
Professor, I'm sorry to have dragged you into the fight again so soon after our reunion, but you appeared at a most opportune time. I'm truly humbled by your support, my teacher. Thank you. And so I will. I'm hoping your abilities from 5 years prior are still intact. Make sure you're ready to head out, okay?
Allow me to brief you on the details of our situation. The Empire firmly controls the western portion of Fargus. However, the central and eastern regions continue to put up heavy resistance. The strongholds in these regions are Aryan Road, the fortress city, and Ferdiad, the kingdom capital. We cannot control Fargus until we have taken both of these cities. As for the Alliance, Houses Gloucester and Ordelia seem predisposed to capitulate to us. However, due to interference from Houses Regan and Goneril, we have yet to secure their cooperation. Claude obviously hopes to keep the Alliance whole through diplomacy. But because we have had to focus our efforts against the Church until now, our forces have yet to meet his. We have only recently begun to take the fight to Alliance territory. I have a request for you.